I went to visit my son when he was 5 years old, and for about a couple of weeks, and I didn't have a lot of time to teach him a lot of things because I figured his mother's not going to teach him and stuff, And like my daughter, had I not spent that 6 months teaching her what I did, ain't no telling, what she would have turned out, how she would have turned out. And I mean, she out there doing her thing now, but she's smart. She's not stupid, But had I not taught her those things, and if you don't if you don't invest in your children's education early, all kinds of things. I mean, it makes a real big difference. But I took 2 weeks to talk to my son and teach him math and stuff, and I didn't really get too deep. But I did tell my son that math, no matter how high you go, it's all still interconnected. And whatever you do, you have to understand that math is basically adding and subtracting. You do it slow or you do it fast. You use the same numbers, so you use different numbers. And everything else, it gets a little more complicated and stuff like that. But what it is the 1 plus 1 equals to 2, 2 plus 2 equals to 4, 4 plus 4 equals to 8, and all of that stuff, and all that. So what you do is, math and stuff, all this is these little building blocks, and instead of saying like, what's 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5, instead of saying it like that, you're just saying, you got 2 5s there, right? So, okay, so then you just put the 2 on top and it'll be squared and stuff like that. So you get all these little simplifications and these combinations of things, the way math is and stuff like that. So basically that's what I told him. And then I said everything else, all history and geography and stuff, it's just memory. You just got to remember that stuff. You just got to study. There's nothing else you can do is study. But to help you study is you have to learn your vocabulary. And I told him, I said, just read every book you can, read. And if you don't know, get a dictionary, read dictionaries and stuff. He was 5 years old, and evidently I guess he just trusted me enough, when he did it. And he scored on the SAT out of 2,400 points, he scored a 2170. And I was like, wow, how'd you do so well? Because he said he didn't study and take no pre-test or nothing. He just went there and took the test. And he said it was a challenge, but it really wasn't that hard or something like that. And I said, how'd you do so well? And he said, I did what you taught me. I'm like, I didn't teach you the SATs. He said, no. You just told me to read. And that's what I do. I just sit around and read books, because the more you read, all reading does is it just gives you more understanding, because those combinations of different combinations of numbers and stuff like that, it's just words. English is, most languages isn't that difficult, but I'm talking about English. English isn't that difficult. It's just synonyms basically. Just learn different words. People use different words to express themselves and stuff like that. So if you're saying, well, I got a lot of ideas, but I don't know what to do, just read a book. And you'd be surprised, because like I'll talk to some of my friends when I was in the military, and this is stupid, but I said, something like, I used to use a lot of wordplay and stuff like that on people, because a lot of people think they understand things and they don't. And so one day I was saying something like, well, I didn't say this, but it's a kind of an example. It's like someone to talk bad about me or something, whatever. And I said, it's not that it's not your not knowing, it's your not knowing that makes you ignorant. I forgot how I said that. It was funny though. I told one of my friends. I told Martin. I wish I could call him. She tell me. Or somebody I said, or this other guy I talked to, one of my subscribers. It was something like, so in other words, they'll say something to me and they don't know what they're talking about. So I'll say something like, well, it's your not knowing that makes you ignorant, you know, and they'll think about it and say, okay, so I know not knowing does make me ignorant, you know, but what I was really saying was like, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, you're ignorant, you know, and if I say that, you don't know what you're talking about, you're just ignorant, you know, and that will create a very, very negative attitude in somebody. But if you say, you know, it's your not knowing that's your ignorance, or that makes you ignorant, or something like that, that creates your ignorance, you know, then they were like, okay, I know that, so what, you know, and but what you're really saying is you're a fucking idiot, you know, and, you know, I used to talk to people like that, you know, especially when they tick me off, and, you know, they'll sit up there and they'll laugh at me, you know, because they think what I said was stupid, when actually, and I'm laughing too, because I'm calling them an idiot in their face, and they like, oh yeah, I'm an idiot, you know what I'm saying? But the whole thing about it is, you know, don't be jealous because somebody else ain't doing nothing, you know, because you can get a passport and travel, and I'm telling you guys, there are so many nice people out in the world that'll help you, and a lot of them are rich, and a rich person, they don't think about, they're not racist and stuff like that. You got them poor people or them ignorant people, you know, that got money and they don't understand that that stuff can disappear, you know. Somebody can mess around and start a war, and it don't matter how much money you want. If they got a lot of power and they want to kill you, you're going to be dead if you don't know how to escape, you know. But, you know, those are a lot of things, you know, even before you get into a relationship. I mean, you just really, really, really have to understand who you are and what you're doing and stuff like that, because you know, you got to be responsible for yourself. You know, you really have to be responsible for yourself. You know, and like now you got these black men, black women problems and stuff like that. You got these young girls, you know, they listen to these older women talking all this crap, and these older men talking all this crap, and everybody doing this. But the whole thing is, you know, somebody somewhere, you know, y'all got to be a little bit more responsible. And saying it's not that a young black man is going to do this, or a young black man, it's the older black man, and you know, it could be so many problems and so many factors and conditions and things that creates a lot of these problems. You know, watching TV, you know, y'all know the television propaganda is out there, but, you know, you're like, okay, fine, I don't care, but I'm living good, you know. You know, I had to struggle to get like this and da-da-da-da, you know what I'm saying? And yet, but them women that's on TV, you know, for them to even get on those shows, they might have to screw the director or the producer. You know, they married and stuff, you know, so they had to go through a lot of stuff too. But they did what they did, you know, because they thought something was going to happen. But then 3, 4, 5 years down the road, when, you know, they all used up and stuff, you know, nobody don't want to see them no more, you know. And then they come into Japan and, you know, do a little show, make $1 million or $20,000, whatever, and they go back to the States, whatever. I mean, but it's just so much, you know, there's just a lot, you know, so, you know, just the first thing about, you know, relationship is your relationship with yourself, and it's really, really, really important. But I'm going to stop, I got to do some stuff, and right now I know I'm just rambling and stuff, but, you know, this stuff is important, though. Peace.